Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be staying at the friendly confines of Park West Casino Card Room. We're staying local. We will not have to travel today, which is always a plus. So we're going to jump into the no limit game. It's going to be 2-3, no limit, no cap. It's going to get spicy. Let's try to run it up. You already know the deal. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's go. Moving into this first one here, this hand's going to have a straddle of $6 on, and I'm going to look down first to act at King Queen offsuit, and now I'm going to open to $23 here. To be honest, it is a little bit loose, and I probably should just pitch this in a hard game, but this game didn't seem like that, so I think it's fine to open. As you can see, the button just calls, and then the small blind just instantly jams. That is probably not great, but it is only about $60 more. And I think folding is a little too weak. And I also don't really like just min raising. And my $300 stack is not huge here. So button's probably pretty capped. I think the best play is to jam. And that's what I do here. I announce all in. And we are going to head to a run out. We see an amazing flop that comes Broadway. We flop the nuts. We think we have it locked up. We do not. He rolls over pocket aces for a rivered full house, so we are going to double him up, and we lose a pretty big one to start the session. Moving on to the next one. In this one, we're going to find ourselves in the hijack, and we're going to open red ace king to $15, and we're going to pick up 4 callers here. So we're going to go to a very balloon pot here. At least we're somewhat in position. And the flop's going to come very good for our hand. The flop's going to come king 10 5 rainbow. Action's going to check to me, and I'm going to go ahead and make a standard C bet here of $30. Now the button and the big blind are going to decide to continue here. And now we're going to see a brutal turn card, which is the 9 of diamonds. Now this is a very, very bad card as it completes Queen Jack, and one of these players could definitely be drawing to that hand. And now the big blind, who's been very snug, very solid, but also very aggressive at times, is going to lead out for $125. And now this is a very bad turn of events, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, we do have top pair, top kicker here, but with this action, it's probably just a bluff catcher now, especially with this sizing from this player. But with that being said, I just don't think I can pitch ace king just yet. The player behind me has only about $200 left, so if I call and he jams, at least a big blind cannot re-raise. So I will be able to see a river here. And that's ultimately what I'm going to decide to do, as I'm going to make the call for $125 more. And now, just like we expected, right on cue, the button's going to jam. And I actually noticed something watching this footage back that I didn't notice in real time. The big blind is in mid conversation here, not paying attention to the hand. That is a sure tell sign that he has a monster trying to act nonchalant. He would probably be much more into the hand, much more focused if he had a medium strength or some sort of a decision, some sort of borderline hand. So this is a sure tell sign, guys, that he has a monster. Now keep this one in your back pocket for later on in your games. So now this pot is just so ballooned, and now I'm just getting such a damn good price to actually call here. And there's so many crazy things that happen in live poker. You see so many crazy things that people do. Ace King could definitely still be good here, even though I feel like it's obviously probably not. And watching it back in real time, I think I definitely probably should have just made the fold here. But in real time, I was getting so much of a good price that I just could not fold. And as you see here, I'm going to go ahead and make the call. And I am simply praying that this thing goes check, check, and we somehow have the winner here. So now we are heading off to the river, and we're going to see a very good river card for our hand, actually. It's going to be the 5 of clubs. And just like we hoped, the action is going to go check, check. We're going to roll over the hands, and both of these players are going to have us with Queen Jack. They both have the straight, so we are way behind, and we are going to lose a massive one here. So hopefully we can get back on track after losing a very big one here. Shortly after, we're now going to find ourselves here in the cutoff, and we're going to open up this pot here to $15. Now, the action is going to go four ways here. We're going to pick up three callers, and we're going to see a pretty good flop for our actual hand here. Very monotone board. So with about $60 in, we're going to see a very good flop for our hand. That's going to come ace 9 3. Now the action is going to check over to me, and I think it's just pretty simple here. We're just going to bet for value. We most likely have the best hand. So I decide to bet for 30 here. And now only +1 is going to decide to continue. And now we're going to see the turn, which is the jack of spades. This player is going to quickly check. And now I decide to check back here for a little bit of pot control. And now we're going to see the river, which is the king of clubs. And now this player is going to lead out here for $30. And we're just going to snap it off here as we expect to be good most of the time. And he rolls over ace 4. So we're going to take this one down with our ace queen. Now looking back at this one, I definitely missed a bet there on the turn. I should have just bet for value. And this player on the river was betting himself for value as he expected to have the best hand, as I played it a little bit weird or bad. You guys let me know down below. As we move on to the next one, in this one, the action is going to fold to me in the hijack, and I'm going to look down at ace 6 of hearts. So I'm going to open this up here to $15. And in this hand, we're going to pick up two callers. The button and the small blind are going to come along here. So three ways to the flop with about 45 in. We're actually going to see a very bad flop for my particular hand. That's going to come jack 9-7 rainbow. Now the action is going to check to me, and I should probably just check this back. But in the moment, I do have backdoor hearts, do have some weird straight draw possibilities, and I could possibly barrel. So I want to take the initiative, and I decide to c-bet here for $20. Button's going to fold, and the small blind is going to come along. So with 85 heading to the turn, we're going to see a great turn card, which is the 4 of hearts. Now he checks to me. I elect to check back as I'm putting him on a jack, so I want to see if we can get there. And look at that. We spike the deuce of hearts on the river, and now he bets into us for 50. Now I don't know about you guys, but I think now is the time to give him the bad news as I raise to $200. And now this player goes into the tank here. He starts talking to me, trying to get a read. Obviously, we know we have the best hand. I'm hoping he has a very good jack, but the more and more he talks to me, it seems like he doesn't. And look at that, he owns my soul as he flashes a red 9 and just mucks it because he knows I'm a fish. As we move on to this next hand, this hand is not going to be a massive pot by any stretch, But I do think it is super interesting, especially for live play, to help you with your live reads that will really help your win rate when people sometimes just aren't paying attention and giving a lot of free information away about the strength of their hand. Now, the button, a player that's watching a movie on his phone, taking calls, and also watching games that he's betting on TV, is going to isolate a limp here to 15. And we're in the small blind with ace queen of hearts. And we're going to raise this up here to 45. The limper's going to fold. The button's going to continue. So with about 90 in, we're going to see a flop that is pretty bad for my hand. That's going to come king 6-3 rainbow. Now I look at my opponent. He's looking at his phone, watching a movie, makes the action like he's going to fold. The dealer tells him it's on me. I see this. I reach for my chips. He instantly folds. This is one of those times by me paying attention and focused on the game, I noticed my opponent was disinterested. Always pay attention at the table, guys. This can lead to a lot of pots. Information is king. Whoever has more of it has the advantage. In this next one, we're going to have an early limp, and action is going to fold to me in the hijack. We're going to look down at a monster, ace, king of spades. Don't really need to analyze this one. We're going to isolate this up to 20. Unfortunately, we are going to pick up 3 callers, which is exactly what I did not want. Ideally, we would be looking to get this heads up. But nonetheless, 4 ways to a flop with 80 in. Very bad for us. Comes 10-6-3, 2 hearts. Action checks around. And now we're going to spike an ace on the turn, which is most likely going to be the best hand here. So action again checks to me. Now I think we obviously just need to put in a bet here for value. I make it 40. And now something very surprising happens. The small blind pretty much instantly check raises to 200 total. WTF is basically what I'm thinking in this moment. I for sure thought I had the best hand. I thought I was value betting. But now I'm trying to figure out what this player has. The check raise to 200 into 3 people is very strong here. Could he have a hand like pocket sixes and he's been looking the check raise the whole time? And now I finally gave him the opportunity. Maybe he has like a big flush draw. Maybe a hand like ace jack. Ace jack of hearts, maybe. What I'm thinking about right now is not just this 200. What's it going to be on the next street? And pretty much deciding what I want to do. Because if I call this bet, I'm going with it the whole way through and I will be calling any river jam. So I'm basically just trying to decide where I think I'm at. This player has been very snug, very solid to this time, has not put a lot of money in pots. So with that being said, I decide to make a very tight fold here, and I'm going to lay down the ace king. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did I make the right fold? Did I make the wrong fold? Later on, he would tell me that he had ace king of hearts, and he thought he had the best hand. Turns out we had the same hand, but he was free rolling me. So about 29% of the time, he would get there with his flush draw. So maybe in hindsight, I did make the right fold. But I'm really curious. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what that action from a player means in your games. As we move on to the next hand, this one's actually going to be a really fun one. Kind of odd. You're going to see what I mean right now. In this one, I'm in the live straddle. +1 is going to go ahead and open the $20. And that's going to get followed by 3 calls. And I look down at ace king off. Now, obviously going to be putting in the raise here. At this time, I'm just thinking about the right size to put in. And with all the dead money, I decided to go 106. And this is very small. In game, I don't know what happened. I thought it was the right size, but I was also getting a little tired from the session. It clearly is not the right size. Being out of position and all the dead money in the pot, my raise should have been somewhere from around 140 to 160. Kind of depends, give or take. But this size really is not going to accomplish a lot. It's pretty much just going to balloon the pot out of position and invite everyone to call because now they're getting a price. And that's pretty much what happens here as only one player decides to fold. So we're going to have a massive pot here out of position, which is definitely not ideal. So we're going 4 ways to a flop here. with upwards of 400 in the middle, and we're going to see a awful flop for my hand. The flop's going to come 6-6 deuce rainbow. The action's going to check to me, and well, I just elect to check back here as this is a very bad board for my hand, and it's going to be extremely hard to win. And with this stack size, I'm pretty much just going to have to rip it here and commit all of it, and I do not really want to do that at this point. But I mean, I guess it could still make sense because I would be doing this with all my overpairs, and I could be repping those here with jacks, queens, kings, aces. But with that being said, I prefer just to stick to value at this point because is a hand like pocket nines, pocket tens, jacks, even a hand like pocket eights or sevens, they're probably not going to be folding on this board, especially for the size of the pot. So I prefer just to stick to value. Especially in these low stakes games, people really aren't getting out of line and putting you to the test like that. They're pretty much just playing their hands for what they are, even though that's going to make me unbalanced. And as you can see, the original raiser is going to fire 220 into this pot, and everyone's going to fold. As we continue on this roller coaster session, we're going to look down at the next hand, under the gun, at red jacks. I'm going to make it 15 here, and I'm going to pick up 4 callers. So with about 75 in, we're going to see a decent flop from my hand. That's going to come 6, 7, 8 rainbow. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm using the term decent very loosely here. This is not an amazing board for jacks. Any 5 has a draw, any 9 has a draw. 9, 10, I'm dead. Any set. Any of these players could have one of those holdings. I prefer just to take this one down right now with my c-bet of 50. And now the plan almost works as we almost get it through. Everyone folds except the one sticky player. He's going to come along. He's a non-believer. Now a quick background on this player. He's been super sticky, running super hot, hitting every draw. And him and I have played about 3 or 4 big pots together, and he's got the best of me on all of them. And a few of them I've had to make some tough folds as far as overpairs. And at this point, I'm just really not in the mood to make any folds to this player. So now when he decides to lead for 65, I'm going to make the call going absolutely nowhere. And now we're going to see an awful river card here, which is the 4 of clubs. And now this player is going to load up a big bet here. He's going to cut out a bet of $230. Well, now I just have a bluff catcher here. The jacks are just pure bluff catching. This player could definitely have a 5. I mean, he could have a hand like ace 5. He could also have a hand like ace 9 that's bluffing. I haven't seen him bluff today though. Every time he's bet big, he's always seemed to have it. He loves his draws, so I think he does have a 5 here, or just complete air. I don't think there's anything else in between at this point. But this player has just been super hot. He's been getting there. I just really feel like he got there again on the river. So I fold the jacks. And what do you know? He rolls over king 5 for a rivered straight. Nice answer. So moving on to the last hand of the vlog. In this one, we're going to be in the hijack when we look down at ace jack of diamonds. And we're going to have an open here from the low jack to 18. And I'm just going to flat call. Now, I definitely think this is a mistake already. I should have just 3-bet this pot. Now I'm inviting multiple people to come along here. And now I'm going to be stuck in the middle. So this thing's going to wind up going 4 ways here with about 72 in. And the flop's going to come really good for my hand. It's going to come 5, 8, 2, 2 diamonds. The original raiser is going to check to me. And I'm going to go ahead and bet here for 35 with the nut flush draw and my 2 overs. And now the cutoff and the button quickly eject from the pot. And now the action goes back to the low jack here. And now it gets a little bit fun. So he starts talking to me. I start talking to him. And I'll let you guys hear right now kind of what that sounds like.
That's you?
I don't think you're there yet.
It's coming though.
I bet the first time 18,
Yes, sir.
and you trying to bet 35.
Yes, sir.
Let you have it. Got it. Go ahead.
And he's going to wind up making the fold. So we're going to take down this pot. And that's going to be the last notable hand of the vlog. So make sure you stick around for the outro so you can hear some of my final thoughts.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. So just trying to recap the session here. A really strange session, if I'm being honest. I was in the game total for 400, played in the game for about 8 hours. At the highest point, got up to about 900, and then just kind of trickled down from there. Kind of got in some really rough spots. I was actually playing pretty well, had a couple of mistakes, and had to keep making some really big folds, which really just sucks, but that's the name of the game. Sometimes you just got to make those tough folds. And, it was just kind of rough, but went up and down. Definitely was a roller coaster ride, but was able to profit. So actually cashed out for about 450 and change. So $50 profit, something like that, which is not what you want to have for 8 hours of work. But hey, it is what it is. At least we're in the black. So if you guys made it to the end of this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.